Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this week on The Flash, we got to see Robbie Amell as Ronnie Raymond, aka Firestorm from the comics for the first time, and we got to see Kyle Nimbus, a character from the comics. He was the Mist on the show, but in the comics it was a little bit different, so I'll explain during my top 5 moments. Definitely my favorite episode so far, so careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. Starting with number 5, meet Kyle Nimbus, aka the Mist. In the comics, Kyle Nimbus was from the Starman comics, and he was the son of the Mist. So they did make a minor change to that. I do think it's cool that they did a character from outside the Flash comics though. It's like they can pull from other titles, so it means we could see characters from all over the DC universe. One of the things I think the Flash as a series right now is really winning is science. Like they have this mist-based villain, but they use science to explain his powers. I might just really enjoy that because I'm a hard sci-fi fan, but just remember the idea that, magic and superpowers are just science that we have not learned to understand yet. And I feel like the Flash is just breaking ground in that way. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kinda does it too, but the Flash is just getting there faster. In any kind of superpowered battle, science will always win though. Remember that idea. It's going to be really important for understanding what's going on with Harrison Wells and the big villain arc this season. Science is always going to win over raw muscle. That is why people are always able to outsmart Superman. Even though in the comics he's actually a pretty good scientist, the movies and TV shows just don't do a good job of portraying that. Number 4, the particle accelerator is a new metahuman prison. I'm so excited about this, but crazy thought, Harrison Wells talked about finding a way to take away their powers. Imagine by the end of the season, they capture a whole bunch of metahumans. What if Harrison Wells wants to use their powers to fuel some big catastrophe? Or he could just want to steal their energy to make himself more powerful. If he really is Eobard Thawne from the comics, he already has the negative speed force, so he's already got superpowers, he doesn't need more. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to do anything sinister with all the metahumans once they capture him. Regardless of what Team Flash's long-term plan is for the future inmates, it just looks badass from a visual perspective. The particle accelerator, that is. It was really nice to see the inside of it. It's like Cerebro from X-Men on steroids. If it looked familiar, it's basically just modeled on the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. If you look at it in real life, it's just like a masterpiece of science and engineering artwork. I know a lot of people talk about the God particle whenever they talk about the Large Hadron Collider, but I am so glad that the Flash TV show does not get into religion. It is all about hard science. On the show, I think they explained that the collider itself is non-functioning, but the parts that do work are what they're using to power the prison cells, like the containment fields. As a facility, it's massive. I mean, it's like the size of the Triskelion in the Marvel Universe, and it's all underground. Number 3, Grant Gustin and John Wesley Shipp. Just in general, all the original Flash scenes were great. Whenever I'm watching the show, I just call the scenes that he gets with Grant Gustin Flash squared moments. Barry's dad is like the moral lightning rod of the show, just to make a Flash joke. So he gets to be like the wise master, teaching Grant Gustin what it means to be a hero, without it turning to like a big classroom teaching situation. All the science comes from Star Labs, all the morality comes from his father. So whenever you're thinking of John Wesley Shipp on the show, just think of Jonathan Kent. He does share the job with Detective West, and a lot of Jesse Martin's lines in the episode were pretty clear foreshadowing for really big stuff, like, you can't save everyone. And then when you look at his dad's line, you ran to your mother, you can imagine what they're teasing. Barry just has to learn that even if he can run fast enough to save everyone, he still can't save everyone. Now twist Harrison Wells' line on its head, you'd be surprised at what you can live with, and obviously, Barry's gonna learn to live with his mother's murder while he has all his powers. Like, even though he can change things, he's still gonna learn to live with it. Number 2, Harrison Wells' WTF flashback. After the flashback, that same line, you'd be surprised at what you can live with, is so much more important. He very clearly precipitated the particle accelerator explosion to cause the tear in space-time, facilitating Barry's Speed Force accident. So there's this big predestination paradox at play that comic book readers will know all about. So if you have read Flash Rebirth, the comic, just use spoiler tags if you're going to talk about it. But think of what Oliver Queen told Barry in episode 1. I think that lightning chose you. Just to explain though, it doesn't mean that Harrison Wells is the lightning. He didn't directly give Barry powers. He just knew what needed to happen in order for him to get the powers, so he helped facilitate it with the explosion. It definitely makes you wonder how long Harrison Wells has been working at Star Labs. It seems like it's been a while. I wouldn't be surprised if he mysteriously showed up there right after Barry's mother was murdered. And my number 1 moment, meet Ronnie Raymond, aka Firestorm. So we just saw him in flashback this time. I have no idea when he's going to show up with his full-on powers. Here's what we know about him as he exists on the show, just because they've changed him a little bit from the comic books, the Ronnie Raymond character. He was working on the super collider as an engineer, so he's super smart, of course. While trying to control the explosion, he was trapped inside the core at the moment of detonation. I was a little bummed that he wasn't in like a post-credits teaser, but they're just saving that for the future. He definitely will have his powers, like we will see him on the show as Firestorm, but for now he's still just Ronnie Raymond. They haven't really explained how he's going to appear as Firestorm, but I'm interested to see if they go a Watchmen route, and he's like Dr. Manhattan and has to learn to pull himself together before he can manifest in real life. Firestorm is a very different character from Dr. Manhattan though, so I think it'll be a little bit more practical once we actually see it. For those that are wondering too about Caitlin and Barry, I don't think there's anything romantic going on there either. I think that once Ronnie Raymond comes back, that, there'll be some drama with him and Caitlin, because obviously she still really loves him. But I feel like Barry and Caitlin are just developing this really strong friendship. As a character, Barry is a little bit more of a laugh at him rather than laugh with him character. I mean, he's just designed that way. But I think that he will be able to make Caitlin laugh too, in the way that she said Ronnie was able to make her laugh. Like, she'll start to lower her guard. I know everyone's still wondering if she's hiding secrets. Like, she might secretly be metahuman and hasn't told anyone yet. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the direction they're going with the character. The really interesting thing that the producers have said is that they're essentially trying to leave all options open. Like, they're going to do Wally West eventually, probably not till like season 2 or 3. They're going to do all these big things. It's just they're trying to leave the board as open as possible. So if you're ever wondering if you're going to see a particular character or a certain team up, it could all happen. It's totally possible. And they're even doing kind of like the mini Justice League team with the Arrow versus Flash crossover. Let me know what your favorite moment from the episode was though. And here are actually a few Easter eggs that I spotted. So they had another Blue Devil sign at the movie theater in the beginning. I just think it's funny that Blue Devil keeps showing up. Then when Caitlin said he used to say we were like Fire and Ice, obviously just a bit of an Easter egg for Killer Frost and Firestorm. Literally, Fire and Ice. I already explained a lot of Harrison Wells lines. You'd be surprised what you can get used to. But just to say it again, essentially, he's learning to live with Grant Gustin. He's very clearly the villain and hates the Flash. But he has to learn to live with him because of a causality loop. Like, he probably gets his powers because of something that Barry Allen does as the Flash. So if Barry Allen never became the Flash, then he would never get his powers. So he just has to live with the Flash. The post-credit scene was fairly self-explanatory. I kind of explained that during my number 1. It's like he knew it was going to happen, so he was just helping make sure that it happened. The real question now is what is it that he wants the Flash to do that gives him what he wants? And what is it that he wants? I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but it's basically like a big time loop where it's like, this has to happen before this, then this, then this, and it all just loops back around on itself. Overall, I gave the episode a solid A. This is actually my favorite episode of The Flash so far. I'm actually really loving the Caitlin Snow character right now. I feel like she's one of the more complex characters in the show, mostly because she gets to have secrets. I mean, Barry Allen, we know all about. Like, there are no secrets there. He's not hiding anything. Her relationship with Barry is pretty interesting too, given her history in the comics, so I'm really interested to see if there's some sort of falling out at some point, or if they're going to go a completely different route with her character. Right now, the board is wide open. I mean, it's too early in the season to really tell, so I don't want to make too many predictions. I do have to give a hat tip to Robbie Amell for his performance this week. He wasn't in that many scenes, but he did get to drop a giant Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference to Tahiti. It is a magical place. I just love the thought that they were going to spend their vacation at such an infamous Marvel place. If you think about the Marvel version of Tahiti as a place where powers are created, like Clark Gregg has like mystery abilities and stuff now, it just makes Robbie Amell's comment sound like a self-fulfilling prophecy, like he was foreshadowing himself becoming Firestorm. That's why as a comic book reader, I'm loving The Flash so much right now, just because they're able to be so tongue-in-cheek and just have so much fun. Speaking of fun, next week is going to be the Felicity crossover, so be sure and watch. It's episode 4. It's called Going Rogue, and it's going to introduce Captain Cold. He's being played by Wentworth Miller from Prison Break. Remember, there's like a ton of Prison Break people on The Flash. Marvel is also going to be dropping their first big Age of Ultron trailer during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So what I'm probably going to do is do my Age of Ultron trailer video and then post The Flash. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. It's going to be a crazy night. So think about it this way, we get Captain Cold and an Avengers 2 Age of Ultron trailer in the same night. It's going to be so amazing. So right now, click here for my Flash episode 2 video from last week, and click here to catch up on Arrow before tomorrow night. So thank you so much for watching. Now let's all high five, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.